Have you ever exploded over something small and seconds later thought, why did I react like that? Maybe someone interrupts you, a driver cuts you up in traffic, your partner leaves their shoes in the doorway, and suddenly your whole body is on fire. Your heart races, your voice sharpens, your mind fills with heat. And afterwards, when everything settles, you know something important. It wasn't really about the shoes. It wasn't really about the traffic. Something deeper was already inside you. Today I want to show you where anger really comes from, why it can feel so explosive, and how you can release it before it takes over. And later in this video, I'll guide you through a simple 5-step practice that can completely change the way you experience anger. Anger is one of the most misunderstood emotions we have. Most of us believe anger is caused by what someone else does. But the truth is, anger almost never begins where you think it does. It builds quietly. Imagine a glass slowly filling with water. Every time you swallow frustration, every time you feel dismissed, every time you feel unheard, another drop falls into the glass. Drop by drop it fills, until one day something very small happens and the glass overflows. That is why you might explode over something tiny, when the real cause has been building for days, months, sometimes years. The moment you react is not the beginning, it is simply the final drop. And here's something even deeper. Anger often wears a mask. Beneath anger, there may be hurt, sadness, rejection, or the fear of not being valued. Sometimes anger is simply pain trying to protect itself. Sometimes anger is the only way pain knows how to speak. When we see this clearly, anger begins to change. It stops being an enemy. It becomes a messenger. Most people learn ways to cope with anger. Some suppress it. They push it down and pretend everything is fine. Others project it, lashing out at whoever happens to be nearby. Some withdraw. Some use sarcasm. Some become passive-aggressive. But none of these truly empty the glass. The water remains inside, waiting for the next drop. And eventually something small makes it spill again. Imagine this. You've had a long, draining day. At work you swallowed irritation during meetings. You held your tongue with a difficult boss. You pushed through stress and kept everything inside. By the time you arrive home, your glass is already almost full. Then you see something small, your partner's shoes in the doorway, and suddenly the anger erupts. It feels like disrespect. It feels like they don't care. But the truth is, it was never really about the shoes. It was about everything your glass was already carrying. Here's the shift that changes everything. Anger isn't just the problem, it's a signal. Every time anger arises, it is pointing towards something inside you that wants to be seen, understood, and healed. When you learn to listen to that signal, anger begins to lose its power. There is a simple practice I call the mirror release. It's a 5-step way to release anger before it spills over. Each step gently empties the glass. As we go through it, bring your mind to a recent moment when you felt anger rising. Let this become real for you right now. Step 1. Recognize. First, pause. Take a slow breath. Notice the heat in your body. the tension in your jaw, the surge of thoughts. Then say quietly to yourself, "This is my reaction. This is happening inside me." That moment of awareness creates space. Instead of becoming consumed by anger, you are now observing it. And that small shift gives you back the steering wheel. Step 2. Identify. Now gently ask yourself, what am I really feeling underneath this anger? Because anger often hides deeper emotions, perhaps sadness, perhaps rejection, perhaps the feeling of not being respected or not being seen. Take a moment to sense what is really there. Step 3. Release the other person. Now whisper quietly within, "I release you from my story." Because the driver, the co-worker, the shoes in the doorway did not create your anger. They were simply the final drop. Releasing them shifts your focus away from blame and back to where healing actually happens, inside you. Step 4. Own what is yours. Now place a hand on your heart. Take a steady breath and gently say, "This anger is mine. It has lived inside me for a long time, and that's okay." Owning your anger doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means reclaiming your power. Because when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of anger, you become the one who can heal it. You can hold that anger with compassion, as if comforting a younger version of yourself. Step 5. Surrender. Finally, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine lifting the anger into open palms. With a slow exhale, release it. You might whisper, "I surrender this now. May it be healed and transformed." Imagine the anger dissolving, like mist in the morning sunlight. Trust that life can transform what you no longer need to carry. Each time you practice this, the glass becomes a little emptier. And slowly, the things that once triggered you lose their power. Because anger was never your enemy. It was simply waiting to be seen, waiting to be understood, waiting to be released. So the next time you feel that fire rising inside you, pause, breathe. Remember, this anger is not you. It is simply asking for awareness. And every time you meet it with compassion instead of reaction, you take another step towards freedom. Thank you for being here, and for the courage it takes to meet your emotions with honesty and care, because this is the real work of healing. And every time you do it, peace becomes a little closer.